Hey everybody, good morning. It's Pete. Welcome to this episode of today's Best Stock Picks. It is Friday, June 12th, 2020. Only thing you could say about yesterday is I wore the red shirt as a commemorative issue. Market got hit pretty hard yesterday. Dow Jones got smashed along with the rest of the market. Some airline stocks and Boeing also got hit pretty hard. Interestingly, the airlines and Boeing are the only sector that came up in my scan or group of stocks that had double their average normal volume, which is a little bit scary. You would think that yesterday was capitulation, but the fact that it wasn't astronomical volume implies that it's not done. We're definitely trading higher right now. Pre-market, the S&P futures are up 40 as of this recording, which is about 6:30 in the morning. Obviously, bullish traders looking for that follow-through. But here's the big thing I want to get across today. I got a ton of emails yesterday and people in the community. Two things. Number one was not sure what to do. And number two was asking if you should be holding trades overnight of stocks that you either already owned or bought. I can't stress this enough. You need to know that before you put the position on. There has to be a setup of because of this, and this. I know I want to be a swing trader in this position, or I just want to be day trading it for those of you that are day trading. It can't be a decision that you make after the fact because now you're reacting and in an emotional state, and that's not what you want to do. So we're going to discuss the market. We're going to discuss individual stocks. Here's the key, though, in this kind of a market right now. It is a market that is moving fast. It's a market that's pulling back when most people are buyer only. So if you're an active trader with a plan and you have the discipline to trade it, by all means, this is a really good environment. Yesterday was great if you were in and out and able to trade. In our community, we were mostly in cash yesterday. We were looking for a couple of spots that we felt that the market bottomed out and looking to bid for some strong stocks. But for the most part, we were grateful that we stayed out of the way and we could head into today in cash. So basically what I'm saying is the stock picks that you make have to be ones that you have absolute conviction in. But prior to the trade, you need to know whether or not you're going to hold it or not because you built a solid argument for holding those trades. I briefly want to mention the trade in Boeing. I got a couple of emails yesterday. That was obviously the stock of the day that I called out yesterday. Absolutely love the idea. Got the push lower, and I bid for stock, and it didn't follow through. It's really pretty simple. I took a small loss on the trade. That's a part of trading. I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's a part of what we do, right? Anybody who says they don't take any losses, they're full of beans. It's a part of trading. So anyway, we're going to head over to the charts. There are a couple of stocks that showed some relative strength yesterday, meaning that they actually closed above the open on a day that the market got hit pretty hard. So we're going to take a look at those. Two stocks that had earnings yesterday that we're going to look at to look for follow-through today, and one casino stock that actually pulled back to support that I'm going to be looking to see if that support holds, looking for another move. Now, the big thing that a lot of people missed in yesterday's video is I said, here's what I'm looking to do, and if certain things happen, I'm going to buy. Everybody missed that second part. So again, as a trader, you need to say, if this is going to happen, if this happens, then I'm doing this. It's not just, do I want to be long or short? It's, do I want to be long or short, and when, and what do I need to see? But here's the key. You can't just trade with your eyes closed. You can't be like, I'm getting long no matter what. If you get long and it's moving down, scale out or get out. You can't trade with your eyes closed. The market proved yesterday it's bigger than all of us. If you didn't make a decision or if you're overwhelmed and you need a little bit of guidance on that, absolutely scroll down and click that link that I have down there for the boot camp. At the very least, spend a couple of minutes just seeing how other traders are doing, and then you can make an informed decision to see if it's for you. So let's actually head over to the charts. And we'll take a look. So one of the big things yesterday is the SPY traded down to the 20 period moving average. We thought it was going to stop there, actually trade a little through. But one of the people in our room, Miro, made actually a really good call that 300 or 3,000 in the futures is that big psychological level that most people watch. And we kind of found a little bit of support there. And you can see we're actually opening up just a little bit higher. Let's actually go over to the futures and we'll take a quick look at that. And here's the futures from where we closed yesterday afternoon to where we are now. It doesn't seem like a big move, but it actually is a pretty big move. It just doesn't seem big because of how monstrous yesterday's move was. So if I pull it out here, you can actually see it is a pretty big move. So we're going to head back out to the daily charts. A couple of stocks that we're going to be taking a looking at that actually had that relative strength where they closed above the open You can see Chewy had a hard time getting through 52, and it has, but it actually was strong yesterday by closing above the open, and that actually bucked the trend. So you really need to identify relative strength and relative weakness on a daily basis. Despite the market trading lower, the stock actually held the bid yesterday, as did DocuSign. DocuSign actually not only held the bid, it became well bid and was actually trading very strong. And you can see it's actually up pre-market here as well. So I'm looking for it to clear. I'd like it over 155, which is probably not going to trigger today. That's a pretty decent distance away. But the key here is being aware of stocks that had relative strength. BYND is one that's been called out quite a bit in the community. I actually do like the fact that it pulled back and basically pulled back to the support level that it broke out from. So I'm just going to bring this over here. That's essentially what I'm looking at right now. That's the level which actually coincides with the 20-period moving average. So again, I'm not a huge buy at the support of the moving average. I don't like doing that at all. I use it more to identify areas that I anticipate the actual candlesticks turning around. So 140 is basically the level that I would have liked to have gotten involved in BYND, but now at pre-market it's actually trading at 150. We'll see if it trades there. Wouldn't mind a lower opening testing yesterday's low, or maybe even yesterday's close to look for a spot to bid. But here's the thing. The A+ trades that you're setting up, today, especially in the market environment that we traded in yesterday, it's critically important to be involved in stocks today that are trading above today's opening price. If you're a short-term trader as a day trader, or if you're looking to initiate a new swing trade, it's best right now, and actually Nancy asked this in a video in the room a couple of days ago about carrying an overnight. It also applies to intraday A+ trades today, especially with how the market traded yesterday. Force those ideas to be above the opening price or stay away. You want today's order flow to match the long-term order flow, not just the one-day trade. Something I do want to point out here before we go into a couple of more picks is I want to just point out NTAP and also Starbucks. Starbucks probably a little bit better example. In my opinion, in the way I trade and in my 20 years of experience, it's very difficult for a stock to reverse 3 months of buying pressure with one day. It can happen. It's just not normal. We're going to get a bounce today. We are actually bouncing right now. Does that mean we're going to follow through after the open? I don't know. Nobody has any idea. I will tell you this. Put more credence in the previous 3 months than in just one day. Yes, it was a big day. It was an ugly day. It was a bloody day on the market. The Dow got crushed. I think it was 1,861 points, something like that. But have faith in the longer term picture and make your decisions in that context. That's the very heart of what order flow is. So Starbucks is a good example here, which is 3 days ago, it was really good. And really good in the sense that the bullish order flow is obvious, but I want to point out something a little bit different. So you can see 3 months of buying here, right? And we'll go to Apple. This is a good example. So 3 months of Apple, you have a lot of conviction that this is going to resume itself at some point and find the right spot to get involved, right? So now if we go over to Boeing, we basically had 5 days of buying in Boeing. And this isn't really Apple versus Boeing. This is really more of a chart reading versus tape reading example. Chart readers will say it's going up, it's above the moving averages. Tape readers will say, well, how much money was actually committed to give me that conviction? And you can see Boeing had a few days, maybe like 5 days of buying versus Apple had 3 months of buying and even longer than that. Oop, I think I just hit the mic. So that's a good example there of something to keep in mind while you're learning to read the tape. WYNN pulled back to support. I'm looking for this support to hold. It's actually opening higher, so we're probably going to get a higher opening, a pullback, and look for that bid. Remember that opening price today is going to be a big one. We're looking for it to actually head back up to a minimum of 110. The thing to keep an eye on in WYNN and the other casino stocks, which will include Penn in that as well, stock that's been very actively traded, is the discussion now around whether or not we're going to have a second outbreak, which seems to be the blame on a lot of the governors now for opening too soon. I don't know. Don't even get into politics here, but that's news that you have to keep an eye on in regard to those, because that's the same reason they all exploded to the upside, as everybody thought we're getting back to normal. So we'll see what happens there. As far as earnings are concerned, LULU and Adobe had different earnings yesterday. Although LULU's been hitting all-time highs, did not have good earnings yesterday, got absolutely clobbered. It's actually down almost $22.07 right now. So this might be, for those of you that are day trading, it should be pretty active today. I'm not going to say which direction to trade. The longer term picture right now is kind of off the table right now for me, because I have been long, I've been looking long, but the earnings might change that perspective. But again, like I just said a couple of minutes ago, one day doesn't change the long-term view. but this could be an incredible short-term opportunity if you're fast to make decisions. Adobe had the opposite, where it's up $16, and we're looking for some follow through there as well. So again, if you took a hit yesterday and weren't sure what to do, you need a plan. You need to know what you're going to do before the trade, which means every single day come in and say, if this happens, then I'm doing this. You need to know it's probably going to happen next, but what you're definitely going to do. So we're looking for some follow through. It looks like the futures are up now. Hopefully we will open higher and continue for us who are bullish and manage those positions if you happen to hold on overnight. Again, if you're not sure about the trade, something I mentioned this morning, ask yourself, if I didn't have it, would I want it? And if the answer comes back no, then you got to make a decision because you already just gave yourself the answer. So have a great day, everybody. Be disciplined today. If you're not sure what's going on, be in cash, because you'd rather be in cash until you have massive conviction. You need some help with conviction, click over and watch today's Stocks for Breakfast, where I discussed how to build an A+ trade. Have a great day, everybody.